35% of Google managers are gone. Guess micromanagement wasn't scalable. So at the recent town hall, guys, Google has announced that it is going to eliminate 35% of its middle management teams. And this brings up the discussion that all of us need to have about how many people can one person effectively manage. Now, I've been managing people since I had a full head of hair and it wasn't white. And I'll tell you that through all of my years, my opinion is that you can't manage more than 12 people effectively. 10 to 12 people is all really one person can handle. Now, you can have 120 people reporting to one person with several managers underneath them, but each individual manager all the way up in the chain should never have more than a dozen reporting to them. Why? Well, the truth is that first of all, you can't connect and maintain good relationships with more than a dozen people at a time. I've had up to 16 before, and that was too many. It was very difficult to manage. I kept missing stuff that I'd been able to catch easier if I had less folks. And the other part of it is that I'll age myself a little bit more here with this comment. There's an old expression called nipping things in the bud, meaning that if you start to see someone slip a little bit and you can catch it right away, you can usually turn them around and fix it with them if you can get on it soon enough. But if you can't, then things will start to slip to a point where people then get into the point of having write-ups, having to be counseled on stuff, having to eventually be terminated, all of that. So really, if you only have a dozen people underneath you, it's very easy to be able to check in with everybody every day, make sure everybody's doing good. Notice little differences, like if somebody might be having a hard time in their personal life, if somebody starts showing up late. You know, what happens with a lot of managers, guys, is they wait then until the person has 3 or 4 lates, and then all of a sudden they're writing them up, and they never sat down to have a conversation and said, Bob, hey, I know that you always work really hard for us. You usually have terrific attendance, and I noticed that you've been late a couple of days in the last 2 weeks. I just want to see, is everything okay at home, everything going all right? And what you might find out is like his car broke down and he's having to Uber in and he can't always get a reliable, ride to work. And now have you waited till 3 or 4 times for that and then just wrote him up and been like, oh, he's being irresponsible? You never would have been able to form the kind of good relationship that you should have with your people as a manager to be able to catch that stuff by just asking a question when it was early enough. Not only that, but let's say you do a weekly team meeting every Monday at 10. Everybody gets on Google Meet, Zoom, Teams, whatever you have, or in person if you're in person. Just goes through everybody's weekends, talks about what they had last week, this week. Take a half hour just to get a sense of the team every week, like every single manager should be doing. You can't do that with more than a dozen people effectively. So I'll tell you that I think 12 people is the most people that one person should manage, but how many do you think